Today on Van Helsing, we talk about births and deaths. Stay tuned.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
In the big rock candy mountains.
Hello, everybody.
There's a land that's fair and bright.
Welcome back
Where the handouts grow
to AFTERBUZZ TV. We are here doing the Van Helsing After Show, Season 1, and episode Little Things. I'm your host, Marisa Serafini. You can follow me on Twitter at SeraphiniTV. To my left, we have a special guest with us, Sarah. Where can everyone follow you?
Welcome, Sarah. Oh my god, everyone can follow me on Twitter at Sarah Desjardins. Good luck spelling my name.
Look it up on Google.
Look it up.
You
Google
jerks.
it.
Hey guys.
And then, of course,
I'm Andrew Mena. You can find me on the Twitter at Andrew Mena and Instagram at the Andrew Mena. So, you know.
Because you are the Andrew
I'm the one. There's only one of us.
And my name's Kari Lane. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Kari D Lane, and then Facebook at Kari Lane Actor.
yes, excellent. Episode Little Things. Overall, quick thoughts of this episode. Kara, let's start with you.
I enjoyed it a lot. It was definitely action-packed and moving along nicely. Like some of the other episodes we've all talked about, like, okay, like we want the pace to quicken a little bit, but I felt this one, it was like, you know, there wasn't really a moment's rest, which really reflected what our characters went through.
Yeah, very true.
Very true.
Andrew.
I enjoyed it quite a bit. I think there are a lot of little tidbits in this episode that are just like, hey, we got a lot of crazy fun stuff brewing. So I'm really excited to talk about all the little tidbits because I wrote a lot of like 1 or 2 word notes that were just like, oh, that brings up interesting questions. So there's a lot of that in here. It's great because it's a transition episode from, you know, the hospital to this new their new bottle episode location.
Yes.
So that's great. So it's just exciting and, like you said, action packed.
Action. Yeah, there was some action. But Sarah, what were your thoughts of this episode?
Well, being
watched the
someone
show.
who has been in the show in the past, I was really excited to see them leave the hospital because personally, once you die, you don't get the scripts. So I had no idea what was going to happen.
Okay.
So when they finally left the hospital, I was like, yes, new location. And then we saw how that went.
Yeah.
But me too. I was very excited about the pace getting a little quicker, and lots of things happened, and new developments and possible murder suspects. So it was great.
Yes, rip your character. She had a very, very
R.I.P.
gruesome death last episode.
She kind of deserved it though.
Yeah.
I'm glad you said that because we might
You
be
said
like,
that.
Yeah.
okay, well, you said, okay.
Yeah, I said it.
okay
It's
now.
fine.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
yeah.
We were nervous. We were like, does she know that we didn't like that character?
Yeah.
Will she feel like
We're like,
personally
we love the
offended by
actress.
it?
She's great, but man,
No,
that character needs to die.
It's just that she's such a good actress. That she really makes you hate her on purpose.
It was honestly my favorite thing to play a character that was so unlikable because that's not usually what I find myself doing. So going on Twitter and having everybody be like, she needs to die. I was like, yeah. And I was like, you're going to be happy later.
That's
Well,
great.
it shows
So
you
good.
did a good enough job of making this character so, like, people had a reaction. It wasn't people like,
Yeah.
I don't care what happens to her. They were
That's
invested
true.
of like, oh,
Thank
which
you.
is a good way to look at being
Positive
a
way to
bad
look at
character.
it. Yeah. Thanks so much. That's nice of you to say.
Yeah, I mean, your character on her unfortunate death, it still makes me question, like, exactly how he died, because
I also wonder.
they
Yes,
panned
true.
away.
Yeah.
We only heard things, and then
then-
we saw the results, where, like, she was kind of pummeled to death.
It can't
So-
be that gruesome because she's able to speak at the end,
Yes,
right?
it's
You
true.
mentioned
So
you
her
were able
lungs
to
aren't
talk, like, a
collapsed,
whole
like-
soliloquy.
I felt it was like
at the end.
belly was ripped.
Yeah, I can answer
Well,
this
you
question.
should tell
us.
Yeah,
You know the details.
I can answer this question and have it not be giving anything I can say. Yeah, the camera angle didn't end up showing it. So what it's supposed to be is they kind of allude to it right at the end when it pans down to me. But the like fatal wound is supposed to be is it Balthazar that like scratches me? But somebody scratches me, and so I had a huge open gash wound on my stomach. I don't on my phone, but I have photos. But- oh man,
Well,
not
is
like
it
you
on
guys
your
would.
Twitter?
It is on
There
my
you go.
Twitter.
People can go to your Twitter to see
You can go
photos.
check
You
it out.
guys.
But yeah, no, there was like a fatal wound on like thing
Yeah.
on my
Brutal.
stomach. Yeah.
Some like Wolverine marks.
Yes,
kind of
that's
thing.
exactly what it looked like.
Because
Interesting.
I was thinking maybe she was attacked, like bitten, and maybe she'll come back as a vampire. We don't know, but now knowing that she had died of just fatal wounds.
There was a lot of talk about different things,
here we go.
directions for Catherine, but
Oh,
hey,
there it is.
look at you guys
Looking
go. Yeah, there were a lot of like talk of different directions for Catherine, but in the end, it was just her time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And and I'm also thinking, it's like, what else did your, this is gonna sound terrible, but
No, it's
like,
okay.
what else did your character, like, need to do after being crazy in the hospital?
For sure. And again, she totally deserved it. And I remember the writers telling me too, when I came to set, they were like, we're so happy to have you. It's so great. But yeah, your character was written to die. So
That sounds like a speech like you're getting ready to get fired. You're like,
Yeah.
they're
Like,
like,
we
yeah,
need to
you
talk
were
to you about
so
something.
great.
Like,
Yeah, but you're going to die. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
oh. Yeah,
Here's
look at
the
you.
photo of you. You look
Yes.
like in pain and anguish.
Yeah, you can't really see it in that one, but yeah,
Acting.
fun fact, this particular photo, I think it was this one, I sent it to my boyfriend while we were filming on the day, and he sent me a
there's-
screen cap, and he sent, there you go, you can see the stomach thing
Yeah.
right there.
Very Wolverine-y.
But the first one, where my head is kind of towards the camera, he sent that to his mom,
Oh god.
and it was like, oh,
no.
she was like, how's your day? And he was like, not so good. I'm in the hospital with Sarah.
Oh no.
And you can't, that one particular
He's
photo,
the
you can't
worst.
really tell what's happening. And she was like, call me right away.
Oh.
And he was like, I'm just kidding. And she was like, how dare you? How
Yeah.
dare you do that?
That's
horrible.
But it was pretty funny.
That is very funny.
Yeah.
After
also
the
mean.
fact, it's also mean.
I'd be like, April Fool's Day.
Yeah.
Or something.
Happy April Fools.
Do they go over like exactly how your character dies, like in prep for the scene, so it's like you know how to act in terms of like, okay, it is this, because you described the scratch, so do they go
Right.
over that with the actors?
Well, no, honestly, the makeup team kind of just decided what it was going to be. And then we shot some stuff above ground. It was always planned that it would cut to Muhammad and kind of the blood dripping down. That was always the intention. But we shot, like, when you hear all of my screaming and stuff, we did shoot that above.
Oh, cool.
And I actually, honestly, it was months and months ago, I was like, wait, did we shoot this like above ground or did we not? I honestly was like, I didn't ADR that, did I? I didn't remember anything. I think it was just so traumatic and I lost my voice for like weeks that I just blocked it out.
Yeah.
But it was so fun to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not fun. All right, so getting into the episode,
Yes, let's
we
talk
really
about
just
this week.
start with Rebecca, the elite, and we now know what their experiments are, as twisted as they are.
They're
But we
making
don't know how
vamp
they do it
babies.
though, right?
But like, I think you can kind of put.
We
two
know
and
we've
two
got an evil
together.
scientist.
Well, no. Like, are they injecting? Does some mother get pregnant and then they inject the fetus once she's already pregnant? Is it something with the male prior or the female prior, or is it like, outside and then they, that's what I mean.
Insemination.
Like
Yeah.
specifically, how are they doing it? And that's probably why it's failing.
There you go.
You know.
That's true. We don't know the details.
And the biological aspect
Yeah.
of it too, or like what
She
they're
just-
inserting.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
I have so many questions. Is she just biting pregnant women in the belly? Or like, how does
whole-
Yeah,
that work?
or that too. Like,
Yeah,
are
like-
you?
What?
But
yeah.
then, if they're a vampire at that age, would they not age?
These are the
I
questions.
don't know.
Because that was
you ask.
American Horror Story has that kind of like a vampire baby thing, and then it made me think of, I worked at a scary farm, and our maze at the end was we would make demon vampire babies. So I was like, we did this. But yeah, I'm really curious now of like, what are they doing specifically, and
Yeah.
then that ties into maybe why it's not working. And it was so weird that she's like, I cannot create life, and you're like,
Yeah.
all right,
Well, she's technically dead.
yeah, but it's interesting.
So-
She has that like desire.
She's like, I have unlimited power, but I really want to be a mom.
Yeah, seriously.
Just okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Some layers
like
for
that.
Rebecca for
That's
you.
what it's all
She would like
about.
to be a mother.
Yeah, it seems like.
All right.
But like the whole concept of the experiment is very twisted. The fact that like they want
Yeah, because you.
they want children. They want to
Right.
have offspring, which is totally understandable. I mean,
Is it
they've been
just-
living forever. They
Yeah.
just want to have a family.
Right.
Yeah.
But that's
Is
it.
it just because they want companions, or is it like the egomaniacal, like I want my like bloodline forever?
Yeah, it's
or,
like continue
like,
the lineage.
I'm so
Yeah.
curious as to if she's just like, no, you don't understand. Like I've been alive for 1,000 years. I've seen so many generations of people I tried to love die. Like it would be so nice to just have someone not die with me for the rest of my life.
And
Okay.
this is and this is
Which
where like
I get.
I relate it to the Van Helsing movie because they had the
Go
same
on.
concept. They're
Right.
like the vampires can't create life because they're dead.
Right.
Like their offsprings are born dead, so like they have to create an experiment to make them alive. So I can kind of see like maybe some inspiration from that
Yeah.
to this, and there of course sci-fi's twisted way.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
But what do you think
Oh.
of this experiment? Like, do you think they'll like if they actually capture Vanessa, will they be successful?
She might be that missing element.
I mean,
Yeah.
if they're
Yeah.
trying to,
The key.
Yeah.
As
Do
in
something over,
Van
well,
Helsing.
to
you know, or
balance the
even
chemicals inside a human, basically.
Maybe.
It
you know,
seems
like real life, you can have it where the father and the mother's blood don't mix, and it can kill the fetus. So I wonder if this might help that.
Yeah, I think
Like, it's maybe
Vanessa.
that's an
She's just
issue.
a cure-all for,
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Because it could switch the vampire blood
Yeah.
back to human blood, and then it.
Or make it like the bridge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, bridge the gap.
Exactly.
I don't think Vanessa's gonna
Fascinating.
be.
She's.
no.
I hope she's
She's
not.
not gonna take that
Yeah.
experiment. No, she's gonna be.
No.
Heck no.
Yeah.
That's not gonna
No
happen.
way.
It's not
Did
gonna
you-
fly.
She'll walk in and she'll be like, "No, this is ending now."
Peace out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think we'll be like Dylan will be revealed in that capacity? Like,
Ooh, if she was
you know
one
what I
of
mean?
the
'Cause
Prager moms.
This is what we're. Yeah.
Dylan's older now too. She
Yeah.
totally is at the age
She's old.
where she can bear children.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean,
Maybe
I'm
they need
so
the moms
scared
younger.
for her.
We still don't. well, Yeah, we don't know
yeah,
where
we
Dylan
haven't
is.
seen her.
And this was such a surprising turn.
Yeah.
I mean, we kind of, the show had hinted at this is what they were doing, but then like seeing the scene, I just was so like, oh, that's so gross.
Yeah.
It really
yeah.
grosses me out.
I will say though, speaking of Dylan really quick, like
Yes.
all of the Muhammad scenes like really lend itself to my idea that she's just like this warrior that eventually is going to team up with him.
Yes.
And they're going to fall in love because that should happen. Obviously.
Obviously.
Just throwing that out there.
Yeah.
Muhammad was pretty awesome in this
Yeah, he
episode,
was-
even though he was very.
Even though he didn't
very
really
little
do
in
He
it.
anything.
didn't even stop on his bike with his shotgun. He's like, all right. dude."
I was like, you wasted a bullet, but that's okay.
I
It's
love
like,
that
dude,
shot,
he was
to be
so
honest.
cool though.
He was one
He's so
hand on the bike.
nonchalant.
Yeah.
Done.
Yeah.
He's done it before.
Barely moves. Yeah.
And the
Wonderful.
parachute hammock was really smart.
That was really cool. I enjoyed that also.
Yeah.
I was like, where are you? In a tent? Get out of there. Oh, you're in a tree.
Smart.
Well done.
Smart.
Yeah.
We see Mohammed like trying to catch up with the group.
Yeah.
I think
can't catch or
eventually,
break that guy.
I think like one more episode, he'll finally like catch up to them. Now that they're like.
Oh, when he missed the
stapled.
When he missed the sign,
Yeah.
my little heart broke.
Did you guys see in the next episode preview though? He may run into a lady friend. Yeah.
I didn't see that part.
You missed it.
I missed it. We were watching the same screen. And I totally missed it.
I don't think I caught that either.
Too
I'm like,
excited.
You
Not
guys,
surprised.
which could happen.
Now, okay,
Goodness,
now
yeah.
I'm confused too with him. So the girl with our elite vampire,
Sheena.
Sheena, is not
Shima.
his sister then, right? I thought she was his sister, but when we look at the photo again, I'm like, it doesn't really look like her.
Wait, what photo?
Oh no, that photo is Vanessa.
Yeah.
He's holding a photo,
Photo
of
of
Vanessa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
yeah,
I
he
wrote
was.
that down. I was like, why are you
Oh.
so in love with Vanessa? Did you fall in love with Vanessa? It super
so
supports my theory. He's gonna
confused.
fall in love with
Shima
Dylan.
is his sister.
Okay, because for a second I thought it was like, it's his sister, and he's like, I will find you. Oh, because is it the photo? It was her and her daughter then? Oh, I understand now. Because I
Yeah.
didn't really recognize her in the picture, and I just was like, damn, that really doesn't
page.
look like his sister anymore. And
Yeah.
You're absolutely right. It does not in any way look like her.
But they are sisters. Sister and brother?
Yeah, brother
Okay.
and sister.
We were like speculating that, but we weren't sure.
They
Yeah.
are.
Okay.
I was really hoping
Awesome.
we'd find Doc's sister at some point in this episode since she's
know.
mentioned.
I thought so too. I
Yeah.
thought that would be
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, all right, so that pretty much takes us to the group. They left the hospital after
Yeah.
the last
Yes,
episode.
finally
They're
left
going to the
hospital.
base because they need to meet up with Doc's sister, who
Yes.
I don't know her name.
I forget her name.
Sister.
Someone in the chat
Doc.
Sister.
agreed with me on they didn't recognize her face either. So yes,
okay.
chime in the chat so you can ask her
There you
yes
go.
questions.
People in live chat. Yeah, so they go to the base, but no one's there. And there's landmines.
Ex-
Kind of
Except
creepy, empty.
For,
Except for
Gorman Jones.
Gorman
Yeah.
That
Jones.
is quite a name.
Gorman Jones.
Gorman
I will venture to say that I love Gorman Jones. I was a little afraid. I was like, uh-oh, another bearded guy who's
Yeah.
kind of creepy.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
I love that we're kind of getting a bit more of a comedic character.
Yes,
Thank
the
God.
dynamite and the grenade.
The grenade. I got a spare. The spare is just a grenade. That's fantastic.
spare.
But that was my
Yeah.
problem. I was like, as cool as he may be, I was like, you're wasting all these resources.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like that could come
But
in so like
I
that could
will
be
say
so
though,
handy.
it looked like that dynamite was homemade. It had like tape wrapped around it and stuff.
Yeah.
And I was thinking that like, who
Yeah,
just
true.
has dynamite?
But, like-
if this guy makes dynamite, just throwing it out there,
Yeah.
it's
But
quite
he
a
has a
resource.
grenade that he could just toss to the side. Like, I don't need this.
Yeah.
Right? That's what I'm saying
he
though.
doesn't
That implies
seem like the
I feel
sharpest
like-
tool in the shed.
There's also
no,
that.
exactly.
Maybe
Yes.
that too.
And the thing is, like, when they blew up the door, I'm like, oh, great. Like,
Yeah.
if you're finding a way in, and then other people can find their ways in.
I thought that too. I'm like,
you're not
you
really thinking.
got rid of your blockade for holding anybody else come in after you.
Right.
Do you think Gorman Jones is representative of the resistance? Do you think they're all kind of like idiots with guns?
God, I hope not.
I really
we've
don't
seen
think
shots
shots
of
of them.
I hope not too, but what?
We've seen a few scenes with them.
Well, sort
They're
of,
not
but we don't
all
really
idiots.
we don't really know them.
No,
though.
maybe
Yeah.
some.
I think,
Exactly.
like, maybe individually they're not the brightest, but collectively they're
we-
pretty
Yes.
good.
And we haven't seen
And if they have a
Gorman
good leader-
before, right?
Yeah.
This is the first time we've seen Gorman.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I've not seen Gorman
Yeah.
I was
before.
gonna say he's not like hiding in the background. He's like an Easter egg in a scene in
Yes.
like episode 2 or something.
Do you
right?
think he'll actually be helpful at the end of all this?
Yes.
He'll actually
Yes.
be an
I think he
asset.
has to. I think
I
he's
think so,
a
too.
he's a resource. He's like
Yeah.
their connection to the resistance, which is important.
They need him.
yeah.
They do.
They at least need him as a foot
Yeah.
in the door. He can
Well,
die
this-
later in like a really
Yeah.
tragic way, where you're like, not the comedic guy. I loved him,
Yeah.
and he got a heart of gold. Like, but until then, like he's gonna offer them a new path. I think.
Yeah. And I think this is the prediction you kind of said is like we'd be meeting up with the resistance, and he is that like, hey guys, so no, really, the
connection.
resistance
Yeah.
really exists
It
because
really-
they're like,
yeah.
really, it exists.
I
And
love that. They're like,
Yeah.
So it's a real thing? No, but it's real though.
for real, you sure?
These are real people.
For
Yeah.
realsies.
It's not just
Oh, and then someone in the chat also said the door exploding would attract other vampires.
right.
If there's any,
fair.
like, let's make a nice loud noise.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. That's exactly what I'm saying. I'm like,
Yeah.
he wasn't thinking blowing up the freaking door.
That's true.
And I want to know why there were the random ones walking around the base. Because, like, if we're thinking similar to, like, zombies, of, like, if they're attracted to noise and stuff, the base has been empty for a while. So did they see them go there? That there's so many more coming? That all the landmines were
Do
going
they
off?
smell them?
Well,
That's
also,
another
well, they did
question.
set off the
Yeah, could be
landmine, so
that.
that was a lot.
I always
Well, I
wonder.
guess if they keep hearing the other landmines go
Yeah.
off.
Yeah. I
It's
also
a ripple effect.
I also just
Yeah.
wonder like how much animal-like they are, you know, because we talk like they sniff a lot and
Yeah.
you know
Yes.
do a lot of like growling and stuff like
Yep.
that. Like how much are they like? Oh, I smell blood from 50 miles away.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Are they the
Interesting
sharks
too
of
because
land?
there's,
Yeah.
there's different
Sharks.
kinds of vampires
Yeah.
too, so
Right,
it's interesting
exactly.
to know how they differentiate.
I
in
wanted
those
Jakirka
terms.
to be a vampire.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Like her
maybe
come
in-
back and just be like even more terrible. We're like, ah, now she's back.
Maybe they
for
could
more.
resurrect her. It'd be so fun
Yeah.
to be a
Maybe.
vampire. We'll
Yeah.
see.
Maybe.
She
Who's to
should
say?
definitely come back as a vampire SyFy. You heard it here first. Everyone tweet at SyFy and tell them what you want. What you really, really want.
No,
Girls.
we're not getting Spice Girls.
It's too
up
late.
in
It's
here.
already made.
Yeah.
Ah,
It happened.
darn
Sorry.
you. Alright,
The
but
90s.
I mean, I skipped ahead a little bit, but like even at the first place that they went to at the base with all the landmines,
Yes.
Yes.
they go through all the files and we realize Vanessa's file's missing, so people
Dun,
know
dun,
who
dun.
she is.
Yeah.
Yep.
And they mentioned the farm, which is
Yeah.
the
Yes.
place that
The
they
farm.
go in moment. I wanted to say though, right before they like get to the office and stuff, they do the stupid, oh let's split up, gang,
Oh,
and then they split
yeah.
up, and that was purposeless. There's nothing happens. They reconverge like 2 frames later. Why did you do that?
It was so dumb. One,
Is-
never split up.
Yeah.
And
It's a
then
cool
two,
shot.
It was a
It
very
visually
cool
was
shot.
cool.
Was it for the cinematography? Can you
there
write
was-
me in a thing? Just write me in a thing. I have this really cool drone.
Yeah.
I gotta
the
use
drone,
it. I
please.
won't get to use it next year. Like, I gotta know.
And how do they know where they're gonna meet up? Because if Axel's the only one who's been there,
Yeah.
he's not gonna be like, hey guys, we're gonna meet here. Because if they get split up, how are they gonna find
Exactly.
each other?
You don't have a cell
how
phone or
big
a
it is of a
walkie-talkie or
base,
something.
But anyway.
You know, rendezvous point, I'd imagine.
Exactly. Like, hey guys,
Call my
if you don't find
beeper.
anything, come back here and
Call me
like
10
meet
Meet
minutes.
back at the
Right.
ambulance.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's my ringtone.
But I was just surprised that like no one was at the base. It makes me question, where did they all go?
Where do they all go?
Yes.
Like, because they have
Well,
that
what
conversation
happened?
too.
It's Roanoke.
yeah. Are they coming
disappeared.
back?
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah.
What happened?
lost
Such a
colony.
good show.
I don't know. It's really creepy because I agree. There's too much supplies that you would have taken your
real
food.
Do
Yeah.
you think they're coming back? Or, okay, let me just ask that. Do you think they intend to come back?
No, because I agree. I think you would have left someone at the base.
Okay.
I'm with, I forget who said that, but I would think somebody would be at the base.
I think Doc said that.
keeping
Yeah.
an
Yes.
eye on it.
Yeah.
Because, yes, there's very few people roaming around, but you would still want somebody. You don't want a vampire to run in there and accidentally knock over all your food supply
Yeah.
or break open all your beers, you know.
Right.
I agree. It's just surprising because there's so much stuff left there.
Yes.
But maybe they just had a huge stash. Who knows?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's-
Yeah, suspicious.
They needed
Yeah.
to
Very
restock on
suspicious.
stuff, so I'm glad they got to the first point and, recouped
Yes.
pretty much. And then they moved to the second base.
Yeah.
And I loved Axel's point. It was like, let's fortify, but let's
Yes.
refortify.
I wrote
Yes.
that down
Because this
too.
is a terrible place. We can't stay here. It's not safe. Let's go somewhere else that is more safe, and then we can make decisions.
Yes.
So that was very smart on him.
Like
his
that,
part.
they're like, "Why? What's wrong?" And he's like, "There's 4 doors, tons of windows." And I'm like,
Yeah.
"That's a good point."
I love how
Got a bomb shelter in your
He's-
back pocket. He's like, "Actually,
Actually, I do.
He's so logical. I so
Yes.
appreciate him being the leader and being able to like offer real solutions to
Yes.
problems to the group. Because so often they'll be like, "Why? What makes you so smart?" And it's like, I'm first of all offering things. Second of
Yes.
all, have survived 3 years. You guys are really dumb. Like you guys, I am evidence.
And
right here.
technically, 2 of them have been vampires, so they didn't survive on their own.
Yeah,
You-
for sure.
yeah.
For sure.
Oh,
And
3. Doc, technically,
And Susan.
also.
Yeah.
Susan and Flesh.
yes,
Yeah.
very
So
true.
3 of you have failed at
Yeah.
living.
Sorry, you guys.
There
We
was
love you, but be better.
Yeah, there was even the line where Doc was like, maybe we don't want to do what you want to do, or like
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
want to do our own. And they're like, what is that? She's like, I'm just saying. And I'm
Yeah.
like,
And
that's
yeah,
not
and
really
what is that?
Yeah.
an argument. That's just a statement.
Right.
And then she bitched at John for doing the same kind of thing, and then here she does it. Because
Yeah.
he's just like,
Yeah.
I'm saying, well, exactly. Like that kind of moment. You're like,
Yeah.
Doc, you're doing the same
Like
thing
say
now.
something
If
if
you
you're
don't
gonna
have
say something.
anything
moment.
Yes.
to add, don't say it.
Yeah.
Right.
You know. But they moved to the underground.
They did.
It looks like a better place. It
Yes.
already has alcohol.
Creepier.
Creepier.
And during their
Safer.
little alcohol bit,
Alcohol
we,
is bad if you're not, focused. They drank a little too much. That was my
Too
thing.
much.
I'm like,
It
okay.
just brings out the complications because, like, we're talking about
Yes.
Doc specifically, and Doc and Axel. I've always shipped. That's my OTP
know,
for this group.
he's all
I,
for
I
them.
think
What
they
is
should be
it?
together.
Oh, yeah.
don't.
OTP, original two pairing.
Yes.
But this episode is specifically like she keeps pushing him away. She's
Oh,
very.
she's like, it's not you.
It's super self-sabotagey, and I think it's just because of that moment where, obviously the like truth of the bite, that she
Yeah.
was like shutting the door on his friend, and he thinks the world of her, puts her on a pedestal, and is like, you saved me, like you tried to save my friend, like and
Yeah.
all of that.
Right.
Is it just that she doesn't want to ruin that for them? Does she like? Does she actually kind of have feelings
think
for
she
them,
has her
or
own-
is
I think you need to give this one up.
no.
Yeah.
She just has her own relationship
see
issues,
it.
I think. She's not good with people.
Yeah.
No, she's
That's
not.
yeah. She's not good with anybody. She's
That's
just weird. Someone in the chat pointed out I would have checked the food to make sure nothing's spoiled.
True.
Yeah,
Good point.
but I think a lot of it was military, like freeze dried, whatever. So it's not really
Definitely.
gonna go bad.
Yeah.
But
food.
I don't know. Could you guys drink in this kind of apocalyptic world? I could maybe have one.
Dude.
No,
But I
wouldn't.
want focus on my game because what if those vampires come storming in there or
Can you
are
imagine-
deeper in the base that you don't know about?
Yeah,
I
and,
can't
And then
imagine.
you're like, shoot, I can't do anything. I'm
I
drunk.
can't imagine being attacked while inebriated.
Yes.
Like, that sounds so awful.
As soon as they were like, "Hey, beer," I was like, "Oh, no!"
I know. I was like,
Oh, it's just
No.
maybe we can have that scene though where they're all really drunk and they have a vampire fight, but it's all just shot in slow motion because that's the way they're seeing it. It's
Yeah.
just like, oh no. All right.
I am
I'm not
glad
gonna
that
act
nothing
it out, but it
happened
could be
though
really
while
funny.
they were drinking because
Yeah.
that would have been a little too like.
well, something did happen.
Well,
and
yes.
the ironic thing is, like, here this whole time we're worrying about the vampires when it's our own people that is the bigger threat right now.
I
Yes.
mean, we still have the lingering question of the murderer.
Yes, the
So
murderer.
we're still
And we
anxious
see,
about it.
All right, so we see John and Susan get it kind of started.
little frisky.
Start making it out.
Yeah.
But then John, being
They
the
make it out a
a-hole
little.
that he is,
No means no.
like,
Yeah.
escalated to attempted rape.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like,
He goes
dude,
right for
you
the
were
throat,
jerk
like,
the
oh, real gross guy.
oh, it got so uncomfortable.
Yeah, but
Super,
like
yeah.
he was a jerk from the start, and now he's just dick.
Yes.
Well, now he's
really
just
bad.
dead.
Yeah.
'cause
Yes.
You don't get to do that.
So
around
do we think
Vanessa
he
Van
was the
Helsing.
murderer based on
Yes.
the evidence?
I mean, like, why would he have that in his bag?
Yeah, and I say
Yeah.
no. Exactly for that reason. Somebody pointed that.
Exactly.
Why would he
That's-
put that in there?
That's the thing
You
I'm
think
most
someone
scared
I
of.
don't know anything. I don't have the episodes.
Right.
I
But
think the throat marks were a pretty good indicator thing though too. How Vanessa's like, this is how
Well,
everybody
I
had
mean-
that.
can I?
Yeah,
yes.
absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
And I have
Go for
no idea, and I've talked to the cast so much about it. Well, before anyone knew who it was, and so I have two people that I kind of suspect right now.
Okay.
One that I was suspecting before this episode was Sam. because he's reading lips all the time, and everyone's just trusting what he's saying. But what if he could make up anything?
That's very true.
I just feel like that's something.
But
and
he seems so good.
I know,
Yeah.
but wouldn't it be so good if
Are
he
you
was
re-
It'd be a
bad?
big twist.
No.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Interesting.
who's number 2?
Okay, for me, number 2 is Doc. Because
That's what I'm worried about.
Yes.
I actually
I
have
love
I
her.
still feel that way also, but she was a vampire for a long time, and
She
she never
was.
she never explored what that
She
was.
likes blood.
Yeah.
She has that
And-
addiction to blood.
She does. So there
She
was
could
that.
know the weapons.
Yep. And then the thing that this episode really made me think it might be her is when she pointed out the claw marks. And she was like, oh, it's exactly like this. You're always blaming me. People like me, you're always blaming flesh. I just think she immediately was like, I'm blaming
on the
you.
defensive.
I think
Yes.
I think she got defensive so
Lady
fast.
does protest too much.
Yeah.
But I don't know. No idea. But
Well,
that's an instinct I have.
No, I
I
think
mean,
that
like, I'm
it's
trying
a
to
good
think
one.
if Doc was the person. I'm just trying to think the first victim.
And
was
she dealt with
hanging.
the bodies.
Yeah, like she had access to every single body.
Yeah.
But like the first one, that's dead weight that you have to like throw over and put it on a rope.
You're
and
right.
just like
That's
trying to
a lot of
physically,
work. That's
how is she
true.
capable of doing?
I mean, but
Very
it was
true.
it was the girl. She was the little girl. Beanie was like
it? Yeah,
tiny.
but the second dude, I mean, he was on your table. Yeah.
He was
I
on
mean,
her
I'm just
table.
saying. I think that Doc is my number one suspect now. I don't think it was John, just because of the evidence just
I
seems
also
too.
kinda
don't
feel like
mind
John-
that he's
Yeah.
dead. I'm
Yeah.
like,
Don't
no,
mind it
because
either.
he couldn't. There's no way he could stay in the group after that moment.
I don't
Yeah.
disagree with
No.
the fact that he should be dead in the
Yeah.
show. Not as a person in the show.
We got someone in the chat who agrees with you about Sam.
Thanks, guys.
I
Not
worry.
alone.
And
See-
we know the actor can actually speak in real life.
I was gonna say,
So,
like,
Christopher Heyerdahl is amazing.
Yes.
he's wonderful.
Such a talent.
We're
And-
always
Yeah.
impressed.
I only also know him from Hell on Wheels, so I'm
Yes.
worried that he's gonna be evil like he is in that, or like not a good guy. And
there
I
you
like
go.
he plays that well, but I don't want him to play that in this because he's so
Yeah.
genuine and
Yeah.
heartfelt. But I hear you.
Yeah.
I don't want it to be
But-
true.
Yes.
But I hear you.
Is he?
but I like Sam.
Yeah.
Depending on who
But-
the killer is, are they always killing people we don't like? So then we're not too mad about who they murder. Though that sounds horrible, but still.
I
They're
als-
never killing characters that are useful or productive to the group.
Right.
It's true.
I also
Yes.
feel
Yeah.
like Doc.
Not
So-
yet, at least.
Yeah.
So if it is Sam, at least he's not offing people that you're like, no, the good person.
Right.
Right.
Like
my
he's
question-
not murdering flesh or something we
Right.
like,
He
you
would
know.
never.
But my question is why?
Yes.
Like, why are the
yeah,
deaths
and why
happening?
now?
She's
Yeah.
feeding. That's the thing. That's what I think.
That's
I think
what
she's
I
feeding.
think,
I
too.
think she's like really embarrassed, like really ashamed of herself, and
Yeah.
she like that's part of what I also think she is making her lash out against Axel.
Yeah.
She's feeding. She like you know what I mean? Like she kept the finger to like suckle from or something. It's a
Yeah.
popsicle to her, maybe. I don't know. I don't know how vampire
But that's
food
exactly
works.
what I was thinking. I was thinking, why would the person do this? And that's why I thought Doc worked
Yes.
too. It's like she needs.
And she's so ashamed
What
she
if
would
she's-
absolutely cover it up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like she is not.
What about
in a
having
place to-
blackouts? Someone said in chat, what if she's having blackouts and doing it?
Interesting, like vampire flashbacks kind of thing.
Maybe.
Interesting.
That
Possible.
interesting.
Because Flesh had his weird sleepwalking.
That's true.
Right,
Yes.
he did.
That's true.
So Doc could have some stuff we don't know about.
Yeah.
That's very true.
It's very true. Shoot.
So many
Doc's-
theories.
Doc's looking more guilty
Yeah.
as we speak.
Slash, she could be passing out because nobody's been killed that way in a while.
Mm-hmm.
But who knows?
Who knows?
But that was an awesome death
possibly.
from Vanessa.
Oh,
that
yes.
knife.
Knife
Oh,
to the-
right.
I thought
So
Axel would be a
good.
good shot. That I was surprised
I
he
thought he
didn't
was gonna take it too.
I thought he was like, no, I would trust you to shoot someone next to me, buddy. You're a good shot.
Yeah.
But I'm kind of glad it went to Vanessa
Oh,
because
yes.
absolutely.
it shows like her
So-
power.
And
Yeah.
it's so much more satisfying.
Oh,
It is
yes.
because like Axel killed all those people at the hospital, so like I don't
Yeah.
want him to be
Yeah.
the only killer within the group.
And I just
you know?
really wanted to say, Kelly, great job with the knife that time.
Oh, so good.
Great
Oh,
job.
so good. Oh, yeah, because the earlier one we're like,
Because I was mean to her about getting rid of the knife too early last time. That was perfect timing on the knife stuff.
So that's fun. She probably was
great.
thinking during our episode, she was like, just wait.
She's just
I
wait.
got a better
Just
scene
wait.
later.
You're not happy with
it.
that knife scene? Oh, I got a knife scene.
yeah.
Funny. Way more satisfying death.
Yes.
Yes.
But
Agreed.
John's dead. Sorry, not
Darn.
sorry. We don't miss him.
No tears shed.
I
love you,
I kind of,
David.
I kind of love the fact like it gave us a reason. As terrible as this sounds, but like his attempted rape gave us a reason to hate him more. He's like he's got to
Oh,
go.
yeah, that
Yeah.
no, you're done.
Yeah,
Like,
you're
no,
done.
there's no
Yeah.
coming back from that.
Yeah, you're
For sure.
banished at the least. You're dead probably by the end of the episode.
Yeah.
So,
And I was also thinking, like, a new guy came to the group, so someone had to leave
Uh-huh.
for the dynamic to
yeah,
work.
just for
balance.
the balance. That's usually how it goes. Like, there's a death, and then there's a birth.
Yeah.
Hence
And
the
now,
show.
new Blondie can fall in love with Gorman Jones. OTP number 2.
You're shipping everybody.
I'm just saying, it would be really cute.
I'm still shipping Axel and Vanessa because they definitely have chemistry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They
what
need
was
it.
that moment? I mean, I kind of got it, but what was that moment about when they got out of the ambulance and they're like, so we're not going to talk about it, but we're going to talk about it. And I'm like, are you talking about your authority or your relationship? Because
Right.
it felt authority, but then I was like, are there more levels here?
Right. I was thinking about that too. It
was a weird scene.
I rewound it. I was like, did I miss something?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's honestly hard to tell. I'm not even quite sure. Watching it, I was like, there's chemistry here, but
Yeah.
I don't know what's happening.
It's kind of cool that they give you that and they don't really give you context. They're just
Yeah.
like, here you
It's a little
go. Make of
tidbit.
that what you will.
Tidbit for later.
I love how it's like they're shorthanded right now. Like shorthanded
Yes.
language. Like they get each other.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, they're more compatible in terms
that.
of being the two warriors, essentially.
true.
Yeah.
True.
You're
It
not
needs
wrong.
to happen.
You're not wrong.
Thank you.
He's like, I'm going to keep waving my flag.
Duck and Axel, go!
Yes.
Team, go.
Right.
All right. But I mean, anything else about this episode other than
I love that they say beer and like 3 frames later the beers are opened like immediately. Beer. Like
And
yep.
it's time.
Well, it's
Priority.
been possibly 3 years since they've had beer.
That's very true.
probably?
So,
Absolutely.
that.
if you haven't had alcohol and you drink, even just occasionally,
Yeah.
it'd be like, sweet.
Yes, the sweet elixir of the gods. I wrote down bitch just because I love
Oh, yes!
her line.
That was so
pun.
good.
Don't call me bitch.
Bitch. It's such a long delay, too.
Yeah, that like pause for effect. Bitch. Oh, you knew
The
it was coming,
one
but you said it
punch.
anyway. Yeah, it was
Though
really fun.
We kind of
So
had
good.
hoped she had punched him and would have killed him.
I had a question.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
something weird about this episode, the hanged man. You guys
Yes.
remember the hanged man that Muhammad sees?
Yeah.
I think
and
he
then-
was
What the hell is
parachute.
that?
I don't think he was. I think it was he had landed and the parachute was dead, and maybe it.
He was a military man who deployed.
I
like,
see.
Like
Oh.
But
his
if he
deployment
got
went
stuck
off.
And he
up
slept
there.
in
Yeah.
the. I see. Okay.
Yes.
That
It
makes
seemed
more
like
sense.
he died on the impact.
I thought it was a weird omen. Like it was like, oh, vampires are doing weird stuff, you guys. Like, yeah, exactly. I had weird eyebrows too. I was
Because
like,
in Lost, they had that. They found the parachute, someone hanging from that too, and that body was already dead as well. So
Yeah.
like the person
It can happen.
okay,
didn't
Deploy, right?
couldn't get off
that makes much more sense than
from
what I
his
was
like
thinking.
disconnect. There we go.
Yeah.
Disconnect from his parachute. But that was a brilliant way to kill the zombie, the vampire zombie things, because they're like all not paying attention. You're like, sweet. Phew.
I'll say it.
Done.
I'll say it
Muhammad's a really good
before,
fighter.
Or I've
He
said it
is.
before, and I'll say it again. I thought that the hanged man was an omen because I'm waiting for like magic to come into it because there is magic in this world, but we don't
think so?
know.
Think so?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Like what?
You guys don't think
elaborate.
so?
Are we gonna
Please.
see like witches and?
Like what?
I mean,
please
maybe
elaborate on what you mean
Wizards?
by magic.
I'm not saying we're gonna get like dragons or something up in here, but I am saying that there is more like there are vampires.
Old
so
world
there
magic?
are there's old world stuff. So if the stories of vampires from whatever
Okay.
thousands of years ago are true,
Okay.
what else is true? That's all I'm saying. I'm not
alright.
saying that they're gonna, that's why when we
werewolves?
maybe werewolves, but I was
nice.
thinking some sort of
Yes.
like demon witch person, some sort of person with some sort of tie to a way to beat vampires. You know what I mean? That's what I thought the bells might be too.
Yes,
Is
let's
like
talk about bells.
a witch in the forest. You
What's
know what
with
I mean?
what's with the bell tolling?
I
I-
want to know.
I think
don't
it's
know.
a
Friend
human
or
who is
foe?
smart and stupid who's ringing the bell to let other people know
This
I'm
is
here.
where
Yeah.
we are. The resistance? Are the resistance there?
Yeah, I don't know about the resistance, but it's smart to be like, hey, people.
We're alive.
Yeah.
Or it could be bad of luring people.
Yeah, like a
Or
witch.
you're just dumb of luring the other vampires.
Yeah.
Because you're making noise.
Yeah.
Yes. See, like every time the bell tolls, like
either
just
way.
the symbolism of bell tolling is death. Literally, they toll the bells when there's
Yeah.
a death.
Do you think it's that? It's just the guy with a rifle just like sitting there?
Yeah.
He's bored. I don't think so.
I've got
Next
nothing
one
else
up,
to do in the
ding.
apocalypse.
I'm hoping it's someone who's good who's just letting people know.
I want some
I
good
hope so,
people
too.
too.
Yeah.
I hope it's good people.
We need good people.
I love that we had that scene with the mines, and I'm hoping that maybe it's a situation where someone's really smart about that, and they have like a giant mine field, and they're just like, "Come on by, vampires!" wait, are you a person? You walk down this really specific path. The rest of everyone just come on as you will, or something. You know, like that would be fun. And maybe it's Dylan.
Yeah.
Maybe Dylan.
Maybe it's Dylan.
I would like to see.
I hope it's Dylan now. Because Muhammad needs to find Dylan first so they can fall in love before he meets.
You're shipping it before it even happens.
They're gonna fall in love. I need it.
Yeah.
We need more.
For whom
romance
does the
in
bell
show.
toll?
That's true.
Yeah. Hey, there you go.
Was thinking it the whole time.
All right.
Yeah.
And then someone pointed out, and we all like to, what about Sam's singing at the end?
That was fun.
That was nice.
Sweet.
Just a bit of a lighthearted moment.
Yeah.
We can't have a
And
like a
Vanessa's
killer
like,
singing.
Oh.
Yeah, that was really sweet.
Yeah.
Because Sam's like a big teddy bear with,
Yes.
with a metal bat.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
His weapon of choice.
So is that like a red herring then? We think that he's good and then he ends up being the killer?
I hope
Like he has a really soft side, but then
I hope not. It's just a suspicion that I have.
Yes.
I think it would be really interesting if it was Doc. Like
Yeah.
I love her as a character,
Me too.
so I don't want her to be bad, but I think it would be very interesting.
Yeah.
Or
I don't
hopefully
know,
they
not
have a
really
good
liking
reason.
Doc.
What if they have a good reason? Like, it's one of those, are they going to be like, yeah, I killed him? Or are they going to be like, no, I was doing this for the group? Like, are they going to do will they defend themselves, or will they just be like, meh?
The more I think about it, the more I really feel like it's Doc, just because of the situation. Like, if she's like having vampire urges, she's absolutely like silencing the people who are finding that out. You know what I mean? Like, and if the girl found out, she would absolutely, you know what I mean, like feed, and then like, oh, she killed herself. That's so sad, you know. And then with the guy on her operating table, it's not hard for her to be like, oh my god, blood everywhere. And then just like drink from the finger, and then he wakes up and she's like, oh god damn it, you're dead now. Oh yeah, everything's terrible, sorry.
Yeah.
Because no one can know my secret. Oh man, you've broken the lid off of this for me.
I don't know how to feel about
thinking
it.
and stuff.
Poor Doc. How will this do
not really
with
liking
her
Doc.
relationship with Axel?
She has very low tolerance.
Oh man.
Yes.
Yeah.
She doesn't seem like the most patient person,
No,
No.
she doesn't.
which is unfortunate.
Yes.
I mean,
As
she
a
could
doctor,
be
you
so
think you'd be a
helpful.
little bit more.
Yeah, just a little bit more understanding, considering like Axel just tried to save your life for 3 years.
She's been in the cage for 3 years, though. I will say, like, save your life,
Well,
but you're in a cage.
2.5 years? Because
Yeah.
she was good for like 6 months.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
But still.
Cage life is
Doesn't
probably
matter.
still not
Doesn't
fun.
matter.
Yeah.
Alright, but yeah, let's get to you. And like, how did you like get a part of the show? Like, did you audition for it?
I
What was that
auditioned for
process?
it, but it was really cool because a lot of the time depending on where you are in the process, but the final audition is usually a few people. It's like some of the producers and the director of the episode will usually be there. But I went into this room, so that's usually maybe 3-4 people. Including the person who's recording you and the casting director. But I went into this room, and this is my first audition for the project, and there were like 10 people in there. It was like a huge, long table.
Just a panel.
Simon was in there, Neil LaBute was in there.
Wow.
And I was so excited to meet, Simon's amazing. I love Continuum. But I was really excited to meet Neil because I do a lot of his plays and acting class and things like that.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
So that was really cool. But so I went in, and the character honestly really did evolve from the audition to when we filmed. My audition scenes I had like 3 lines. And it was just the parts of Brendan and I kind of being like, what are we going to do? And him being like, I think we need to take over the hospital. But that's kind of all we had. So then when I got the job, which was great, and I got episode 6 where Catherine loses her mind. I was like, what's going
Starts
on?
jabbing people in the cage.
It was so fun,
my
and I was
gosh.
like, I get to do all of this. This is amazing. So there was no inkling that she was kind of crazy Catherine in the audition process at all. And then I got episode 6, and I was like, well, I'm a nutcase. But it was amazing.
It was a fun case. We were
Oh
like,
my God, it
whoa,
was so
like
much
this
fun.
girl, she's crazy. She's like literally trying to kill all of them.
And it's funny too because
stabby.
in the beginning I just kind of like lure in the background, and I'm just kind of there, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, she's not so. Yeah.
Yeah, and like you were with the little girl, and then you were like freaking out because the whole hospital was
Yeah.
booby trapped.
Right.
Like,
I think it really was. I totally understand everyone being like, she's crazy and this is so irrational, and it was. But I think if I had to like rationalize my character,
It was because
it's that she's so attached to Callie and looking after her And so when the like booby trap goes off and she almost got decapitated, she just kind of snaps. I think she's really like guarded and like keeps everything inside. And then all of a sudden it was like the can of worms was opened.
I totally agree. And like as much as we hated like the person that you became, it was so like clear because you cared so much for the little girl like Kelly.
Right.
And that moment when the thing hits right above her head and she like turns to you and like looks at you, you like see the like gears turning and it's it's upsetting because you're like, oh no. Yeah. She's gonna do terrible things.
terrible things. Yeah. That short scene in the cafeteria where Brendan's just like, "Are you all right?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm fine."
I'm fine because I have a plan with a stick.
It's all good.
Just try to kill everybody.
You know, the huge.
Yeah, the huge. Point knife tipped to stick.
Yes.
As you do.
Yeah, you went quite rogue there.
Yes, but Macy, who played Callie, was adorable, and how could I not be sad when her safety is threatened?
I mean, Mama Bear got to protect.
Gots to.
Gots to.
Yeah.
But I mean, you worked with everybody. There were, what was the dynamic like working with everyone?
It was so lovely. Everyone was so friendly to me right off the bat. And because we were filming in the hospital, so I'm from Vancouver, we filmed in Vancouver. And there's actually an abandoned post office building in Vancouver, and that is where we filmed all the hospital scenes.
Interesting.
And so they actually just like post-apocalyptic elliptified the post office. And so there was like a green room, and we would just sometimes actors will like go back to their trailers and kind of hang out and keep to themselves, but we had this green room that we would all just hang out in, and oh my god, it was so fun. Everyone's lovely on that show. I was so lucky to work on it.
Yeah, seems fun.
Yeah.
Did you guys have any?
What was the weirdest or funnest thing that ever happened?
I think the cage scene that I filmed was pretty crazy town.
Yes.
It was interesting too because we didn't know what the weapon was exactly going to be until I got there.
Stick with a knife taped to it.
So they were like, "Here, this is yours," and then they measured it to my body. Like it was originally way longer, and they were like, "Okay, you're too tiny." So it was funny too because we were filming that, and then the cage was like, how would we describe it was like a grid.
Yeah.
Which in my mind, when I had read the script and I hadn't seen the set yet, I was like, oh, it's probably like a jail cell kind of thing.
Okay.
So there was the challenge of there's just like tiny little squares.
And you're trying to stick it through.
So it was like, roar! But that was really fun, and I had to like coordinate with Jonathan, who plays Axel.
Yeah.
And there was one take, I think they used it, but it's all really like cut together really quick. But there was one take where I almost got him, and like he would have been fine. It was plastic.
Yeah.
But yeah, I lost my voice for like a week and a half.
Oh my gosh, just for all the screaming.
Yes, all the screaming.
Oh man, I was like, that was the moment I was like, oh god, the girl's crazy.
Yes.
Like if she's capable of doing that without these people knowing that, like she could sneak up on them. Like who else can do this?
I know, for sure.
Oh my god.
If you got to write her version of going crazy, how would you have murdered the whole group?
How would I have murdered the whole group? Well, I think initially I really do think it was just she wanted to get back at Axel because he's the one who set all these booby traps, and it truly was
his fault.
She's crazy, but it truly was all about Callie, and like they hurt Callie. That's all she was upset about. I don't know. I guess I would pick something even more gruesome just to be fun.
Just vindictive and
well,
hilarious.
she almost got decapitated, so I think I would like to decapitate him.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. Okay.
Would you do it, or would you like set up a machine like there was in there to do it for you?
I think Catherine would do it.
You do it? All right.
I don't think Sarah would do it, but Catherine would do it.
Yeah. Legally, Sarah is never been a murderer.
Never murder.
She can't say that murder's okay.
Yeah.
But Catherine says murder all day long.
All day long.
Yeah.
So who's your favorite character, like on the show? Who do you enjoy watching the most?
That's so hard because everyone does such a good job. I'm really into Hillary, who plays Susan right now. I really like how she plays her character, and I believe we see a bit more of her too as the story unfolds. I'm not 100% sure. But of the main like core, Doc really is my favorite. Yeah. Rukia.
She's got a journey.
She's
got a journey to go on.
Yeah.
Now, who would you go into the vampire apocalypse with? If you could pick one buddy from the group to be...
From the group.
Yeah.
Oh, Axel. Yes.
Yeah.
Well, Vanessa's injured-ish right now, so she's
Yeah.
not the best. Like, I'd be worried about it. But Axel, he's kind of going crazy. But I think I would pick Axel at the
Yeah.
moment. He's got the plans.
Yeah.
does.
I'm not the best at the
Contingency
plans. I need
plans.
someone who can make plans.
Yeah.
He's a Marine after
Yeah.
all. Yeah.
He's the brains and the brawn.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which is good.
Yeah.
That's
And he has the
Pretty much
bod,
everything.
so that doesn't hurt.
Right. Right.
Let's be real.
And you have to conserve water, so showers are going to
Yeah,
be a thing.
you have to shower
I'm just saying.
together.
I'm just saying. Yeah.
Yeah, but like your character, rest in peace.
Yep.
Her,
Rest in
or go to hell. I mean, she was a clone of a
Right.
terrible
Yeah.
person. No, that
If you
sounds
get killed by
terrible.
a vampire, do you think you go to heaven or hell, or does it just?
I don't know. I don't know how that works.
I don't know.
Like,
Where does
maybe
the
just
dogma fit into this?
maybe dependent on the person's belief system before they died.
Yeah.
Because
know.
if they were, you mean if they're a vampire and then they die?
That too, but I'm very interested because mostly the vampires are very connected to like Christian mythology and like a cross like burns them in holy water. We don't have any
But
of that.
not in this show.
Yeah.
Nope. Totally different world.
Yeah,
Yeah.
totally.
Different
so I'm very
mythology there.
curious how like the afterlife in this is and stuff like
I
that.
wonder if they'll ever
Is
touch
it-
on that.
I
Nope.
mean,
This is it.
great question.
There's already too much to cover,
so
so I
much
doubt
to
it.
cover.
Nope.
So much to do.
But you're like your character doesn't even get a proper funeral. He's just laying
Nope.
there on the pier.
It's kind of the time
Done.
we're in. I
Yeah.
feel you're
Yeah.
you're dead. You're dead.
There's
and
not
that's
really
it.
funerals in this
No.
post-apocalyptic
Yeah,
world.
everyone was sent down the chute at the hospital.
Oh,
Yeah,
I was gonna
stay on
wear
the
my
chute.
nice clothes, but the apocalypse happened 3 years ago, so I can't.
All right. Okay, so let's get to predictions.
Okay.
Then.
Ah!
And now, your
It's
AfterBuzz
haunted.
TV
I don't know why.
predictions.
This is so official.
This is where we predict what's going to happen in the show. Carrie, let's start with you.
I think there's going to be something in the quarantine area. I don't know
Oh,
what,
absolutely.
but there's something down
Oh
there.
yes.
I hope it could be a good thing and a bad thing. Like there is something malicious down there, but there's also another good force.
Okay.
Like a person who's taking care of it. Like maybe Doc's sister's down there, but they have like a caged vampire or something like that, and they're like, we've been experimenting. So something's down there,
Okay.
Interesting.
and Muhammad's gonna catch up with them, and they'll find the resistance very soon.
Yes.
Sweet.
Andrew.
Muhammad is gonna meet Dylan. They're gonna fall in love and be two warriors together, fighting across the plains. They're gonna eventually meet the resistance and probably become the new heads of the resistance because they got great ideas. Eventually, we're gonna get Muhammad's sister back in the fold somehow. Maybe Muhammad is going to, in some way, be able to get into the good graces of what's the name of sexy vampire? Rebecca. So sexy vampire and Rebecca, and he maybe have some sort of alliance. I feel like she's not on the main vampire's side. As per your thoughts, I really kind of agree with that. Maybe there's like an ancient one vampire that they've got down in the catacombs or whatever.
Expanded.
Yeah,
An ancient
I
one.
like the idea. I'm wondering if they have it caged. That's my curiousness. I still think that there's some sort of magical presence somewhere. The bells might be that. The witch that of the wilds that I think is somewhere hiding. Because I want to believe that there's a safe place from vampires, and I want to believe that someone knows a way to combat that. And I don't know if they're going to handle it from the magical standpoint of it being like a witch, or if they're just going to continue with like, no, don't worry about it. We're doing it very scientifically. Doctors are here, okay? Because so far it seems like doctors don't work. Don't worry. Like you can do your best, but doctors aren't always going to be efficient. We're going to have to do some magic here soon. So that said, I also think eventually we're maybe going to get werewolves. I'm hoping werewolves. And that's me.
Okay.
Yep.
Wow. That was like your whole mental thought train.
Yeah.
Yep.
So-
The whole train.
So Sarah, you
Welcome.
don't really know what's about
Yeah,
to happen.
I
so
honestly
you're
have
watching
no
it like
idea.
us.
I'm watching it like a viewer now.
So
Telling
what
us
are
as
your
a fan,
predictions?
yeah.
Well,
what do you think is going to happen?
I am really hoping we're going to find out who the murderer is soon and just kind of deal with the aftermath of that.
Yes.
And I'm hoping that'll happen because we're kind of in the middle, second half of the season now.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I kind of agree with what you're saying about the quarantine. I honestly feel like it will probably be just something negative, but I hope for positive. I'm a positive person.
Okay.
I also think, as we saw in the teaser for the next episode, Muhammad's gonna meet a lady. So I think how they might meet up is maybe she'll lead him to the resistance, or she'll like meet his family and they'll be part of the resistance or something like that. So I think they'll definitely converge again. There's no way they won't, but I'm just wondering how that's gonna happen.
Yeah. My question is, how many people are in the Resistance?
Yeah,
Like, how
so
big
how
is
big
this?
is
Is it like 10 guys or is it like
It's like
50 or 100?
Because we're always hearing
Yeah.
about it, and they're like dispersed.
And a lot have
throughout,
died
but how many
already.
are there?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
how many are left?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I still think that Rebecca will like become an ally to the humans because it doesn't seem like she's really into this vampire civil war
No.
thing going on. She's
No.
she's more worried about her continuation of her lineage.
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
She wants to find Dylan. I think that's still at the forefront of her thoughts, don't you think?
so.
Rebecca knows about Dylan?
No, aren't we talking about
No, I was
Vanessa?
talking.
I'm
no, I
sorry.
was talking
I'm
Rebecca.
sorry.
Rebecca.
Rebecca.
The other sexy lady on the show.
Whoopsie-daisy.
Yes.
Sorry. Sometimes those sexy ladies, they just sound like they have the same names. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I think
end in A's.
Rebecca will become an ally to the humans, and somehow
I think that could definitely
I agree.
happen.
That's what I said way back when.
She, because she can
She called
follow
it.
people's scent and stuff, she can lead them to the Resistance.
Or she could be chaotic good.
Yeah.
Like she's not going to be maybe super helpful, but she'll be like kind of helpful.
She could just be toppling the regime to be like, oh, and
Yes.
look who's stepping up now.
Yeah.
All right, well that's it for us. Thank you everyone for tuning in, and watching, and commenting in the live chat. In the meantime, where can everyone keep following you?
You guys can find me online at Kari D. Lane, that's Karidlane, on Twitter and Instagram and Facebook at Kari Lane Actor.
Hey guys, tweet at me, Andrew Mena, at Andrew Mena, or on Instagram at the Andrew Mena. Send me things or DMs or whatever people do on Instagram.
Hi guys, you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Sarah Desjardins.
Great, and you can follow me on Twitter at Serafini TV. You can follow all of us here on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all those fun social media platforms at AfterBuzz TV. Keep rating, keep commenting, keep subscribing. Thank you everyone for tuning in, and we will see you next time.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later!
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.